Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this 2021 elk guide, I'm going to go over both species of elk, Roosevelt Elk and Rocky Mountain Elk in the Hunter Call of the Wild. I'm going to talk about hotspots, my favorite hotspots, and we will also be talking about things like loadouts, which weapons you can use, which weapons to stay away from, drink zones, and other strategies for hunting both species of elk in this game. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so I want to start with Roosevelt Elk. So Roosevelt Elk are a Class 8 animal. Let's talk a little bit about loadout. I like to use the 300 Magnum. Guys, you can use the 338 if you have it. You can also use the 7mm. I used the 7mm on elk for a long time when I was leveling. Now, being a Class 8, animal, you can actually get away with using like a 30-06 weapon. You can use the 303 if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. I would save up, get the 300. The 300 is actually less expensive than the 338. And I would honestly say that the 300 is the better weapon. So I carry the 300 for the elk. That's both species too. Same thing for the Rocky Mountain Elk as the Roosevelt, same thing. So I've got the 300 on me today. And let's go over some hot spots. I'll show you guys some of my favorite spots to hunt the Roosevelt Elk. And I'm actually going to throw up a map right now in the video here that I've made that you guys can actually find in the Discord. You can download this map. I've got both the Rocky Mountain Elk and the Roosevelt Elk hotspots maps in my Discord. So join the Discord if you haven't already. Call of the Wild Maps is the channel. I got a whole bunch of maps in there. You guys can download them and use them. So Roosevelt Elk hotspots. So as you can see on that map, this part of the river is huge for Roosevelt Elk. You're going to see a ton of them along the river. I usually start at this outpost and work my way south. You can go up a little bit too. I find that elk can be pretty much right about this spot here. So basically I'll go up to just about where this lookout point is and work my way down along this river. You're not really gonna find any elk down below where the fork is in the river here, but I'll kind of work my way all the way along and go back up. And basically the top part of the Y in the river on this map along the river system is where you're going to find elk. And also, I can't stress enough, check this part too, where it kind of branches off. They tend to be kind of in this area right here as well. So we're going to do a little bit of hunting along the river today. I also want to take a look at Belmont Lake. That's a huge hotspot for Roosevelt Elk. As well as these two lakes. Now, these two lakes here, a lot of the time you're only going to see cows. After that, I think we're going to head down to Runaki in the bottom left of the map. This is just a huge hotspot on the map for whitetail, blacktail, Roosevelt elk, lots of mallard ducks down here. So we'll probably finish it off down there before we move on to Rocky Mountain Elk. So let's get into doing that, guys. So for both species of elk, I like to hunt them during the time when they're drinking. Rocky Mountain elk can actually be really good to hunt during their feed times. We'll talk more about that in Silver Ridge Peaks after we finish up looking at the Roosevelts here. But basically for Roosevelt elk, I'm going to set the time for about 5:30 in the morning. They drink from 5 until 9:30, but they do need time to get into their zones, and a lot of the zones are going to start at 5:30. They're going to have zones that start at 5, and they're going to have zones that start at 5:30. I like to change the time for about 5:20. We'll go with 5:22. So with that, we're up here in the top left corner, up in Willowpeg here, and we're just going to work our way down the river and see what we can find for Roosevelt elk up here. Now, this little lake right outside the outpost, you want to be looking around here. And if not for elk, you're going to see blacktail roaming around this little lake. Mallards as well on this little lake or pond, whatever you want to call it. It's a small lake. So before I trek down the river, I always check this lake. There's going to be blacktail here. And you might even see a couple elk roaming around. Now, I meant to mention the collars back at the outpost, and I forgot to, but there's one elk collar for both elk. It works the same for both. Super straightforward. There's also an elk scent that you can buy, and I would recommend definitely taking the collar with you when you're hunting elk specifically. And you know what? I'll actually go back and show you guys, because I do want to show you guys which collar it is exactly, just to be clear. And if you go into the store, the elk collar is here, 6,000, and the scent is right here. For 1,500, you get 10 sprays of the scent. So I'll go into my storage, and we will grab the elk collar, and I'm just gonna leave, you know what, we'll take the scent, that's fine. And we'll put the collar and the scent into our hotkeys, and we're good to go. There's our first bugle warning call from a male elk up here. A couple of small bulls, we got a 3 and a small 4. They're alert. So we're just up along the river here. That's our first zone. Gonna see a lot of moose around here too. You'll see the odd blacktail. But I'm actually I want to shoot that 4. And we actually got them both. And yeah, as you travel down the river, just keep in mind, you guys, all these little pockets of water, all these little ponds and little lakes and such, you want to be, they can be drinking anywhere, right? So you do want to be checking those. That goes for all species. That goes for when you're whitetail hunting, blacktail hunting, moose hunting down the rivers. You want to be checking those spots. Don't just stick to, you know, the main body of the river system. Take a look over into these areas as well. This is that small 4. He's a gold. He's 296.5. Double lung. We were a little bit high there. And then that 3 should be down too. And he is right there. There goes that blacktail doe. And then, so I think what we're going to do, rather than just continue down the river, I think you guys get the idea, is we'll check out a few of the lakes here as well. There's a few that I want to show you guys in particular. Belmont Lake, Roonaki Lake. I want to go to the 2 top right lakes here as well and see if we do actually have, where is it, any bulls. Probably just going to see cows at these 2 lakes, but we'll check it out. There used to be bulls there back in the day. Lately it's been all cows. Managed to grab the right lung on this guy, just a little 3. 236.3. So let's do that. Let's actually go up here first, because I am curious. So basically, I like to come down to this lake from the outpost, check over at the right side. It's kind of where these trees are and where the trees kind of end, and you got these rocks. Usually a really good spot for elk as well as whitetail. There's usually a big old herd of cows sitting there, and they're not there currently. And I like to just kind of scan this mountain as well. See any elk here. And then the other spot that you're going to see elk at this lake is just to my left, behind these trees. So I just like to go around to the right and see what I can find. A little bit strange to not see elk here right now. What time do we got? 6:07. They might still just be coming in, but I'm not seeing them just yet. Here they are over to the left. Bunch of cows. Used to always have bulls on this side. This is where the bulls would be. And this big herd of cows would be over on this side. But times have changed, and I don't think we're really seeing bulls at these lakes anymore up on the top left. Or up on the top right, I'm sorry. Just a ton of cows. I mean, if you're looking for rares, great place to check. If you're looking for rare cows. But yeah, and referencing back to my map, guys, keep in mind, I mean, Roosevelt Elk are so spread out. And these little lakes, a lot of these little lakes down here are really good. Just refer to the map. This little lake is really good. So is this one. So yeah, like I said, refer to the map. Lots of really, really good Roosevelt Elk spots all over Layton Lakes. So with that, let's go south just a little bit. See what's going on here. Now, they tend to be up on this little bank on the right, but I like to scan the entire lake. And here we go. Across the lake, we've got some cows, but this is looking familiar right off the bat. I'm not seeing any bulls. So rather than hanging out and checking out all the cows, let's go look at some bull elk. Let's go find a big bull. And to do that, let's go to Roonaki first. Down on the bottom left of the map. And from the outpost puts you right beside the lake. Real nice. I just like to start to scan. I scan the water first, usually, just to look at the mallards. But you can already see there's our first bull. We got a 2 minor. And we're going to have blacktail all around this lake as well. There's going to be tons of blacktail here. And keep in mind, too, that blacktail drink at the same time as the Roosevelt Elk. They drink together. Same drink time. We've got another bull there, a 3. A decent-looking 3. And we're just going to have a ton of blacktail here. I think we're going to go for... We've got a 2 and we've got a 3. There's a little tiny little 2. And we've got a decent-looking 3 as well, if I can find it again. It's right there behind that rock, but that is a nice looking 3. Yeah, it's behind the rock, so I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I am going to put that guy down for a respawn. All right, there we go. About 220. We'll pull out the 300. Now, I am not reloaded, but I'm confident in my shot here. I try to be reloaded every time I shoot, just in case. And that'll do it for him. All right, so this guy's down. That's a really nice looking 3. I'm not going to lie. That's a 263.2. Really nice for a 3. We got the liver stomach left lung there on that shot. Not too bad. Really cool looking 3. All right, welcome to Silver Ridge Peaks, you guys. Rocky Mountain Elk. Let's talk a little bit about the Rocky Mountain Elk. Now, as far as loadout, everything's exactly the same as the Roosevelt Elk, so I'm not going to go over all that again. It's exactly the same. There's no discrepancies between the two. Same collars, same loadout. Rocky Mountain Elk, guys, are super spread out all over the map. So I'll throw up the map right now. That's going to be in the Discord, the hotspot map for the Rocky Mountain Elk for you guys to check out. And as you can see on that map, they are all over the place. There isn't really one quadrant or like area of the map where you're going to see more Rocky Mountain Elk than anywhere else. They're really spread out. But a couple of my favorite spots, as you can see on that map, basically along the road on the left side of the map is really good for them. Now, they drink from 4 until 5:30 in the morning. They also drink from 1700 until 1830 as well in the evening. And that's the time that I like to hunt them. Basically, you can hunt them while they're feeding. They're feeding pretty much all day long, other than those 2 small periods of time when they're drinking, and they rest basically throughout the night. So a lot of people do like to hunt Rocky Mountain Elk during the day when they're feeding rather than when they're drinking, just because it's such a small drink time. And you can find them feeding like all throughout the fields if you go along the road. If you follow this road and kind of check out the clearings and the fields, you're going to see lots of Rocky Mountain Elk feeding. Same with down in the bottom right corner of the map, all around this lake. All around this lake, you're going to see them feeding. Up in here, they feed in the fields up there as well. And same with all around these lakes up in the top left of the map as well. But for this video, we're going to hunt them between 1700 and 1830 while they're drinking. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite spots here. With the first of those being this lake here with the island in the middle, just outside of Ouray Outpost. So we're going to head there and see what we've got for drink zones here at this lake. Now, the reason I point out this specific lake is because there's a little pond just up the hill here. I got a diamond Rocky Mountain Elk there. There usually is a zone. I don't have a zone there right now, but there usually is a zone here for them. Whether it's a feeding zone or a drink zone, they tend to be hanging out up there, and all you got to do is make your way up. It's right up on this embankment. There's like a little pond up there, and I found a little 5 up there, and it made diamonds. And other than that, they could just be drinking pretty much anywhere around here. When they're feeding, you can find them if you follow kind of the road up through the forest here. You can find them feeding in the clearings and in the fields as well. But this lake tends to be really good for Rocky Mountain Elk. It's not always going to be your map. You might not have any here, but this is one of the spots that when I am hunting Rocky Mountain Elk, I always check here. And you're going to see turkeys around here. There's a diamond potential. You're going to see bears around here as well. Mountain lions drink here. And there's a bugle right there, actually. Mating call. Yeah, I'm just going to sneak up. I was going to fast travel up to the outpost there just to get me there quicker. But I don't want to spook it. I wonder where that guy's going. He might be coming down here. He might be going up to that little pond I was talking about too. Oh, okay. There they go. So that's another thing too, is you want to check up on top of these bluffs. There's another bear up there. A lot of the time you're going to have elk up here hanging out, drinking or feeding. And mule deer here as well. And I do believe that is where that bull was probably headed that just called. So there's that zone. They do drink up there. So you want to be checking up there on the right side. We're going to go up here. Now, this is a really cool spot. I've got a really good tent here. If you guys want to copy what I've done, definitely do that. There's basically a mountain right beside this lake. And if you get on top of it, you can get a tent down up here. And then you can kind of peek over the top of the mountain and you can see down to the lake. I'll show you. And Rocky Mountain Elk drink down there. I've got a diamond there recently. Bighorn sheep drink down here. Mule deer drink down here. Really, really cool spot. With just a perfect vantage point. And as you can see, just a ton of Rocky Mountain Elk down there. Now, a lot of the time at this lake, you are just going to have a big herd of cows. But, oh, we've got a bull there. I found an albino cow here. So this is a really cool spot. You have mule deer probably resting down near this lake at this time. And yeah, just a ton of cows. I mean, look how many elk are here. And it looks like just that one bull. And then with that, probably the next spot that I'm going to check, is right here. This lake is fantastic for elk. Pretty much guaranteed you're gonna have a zone or two there while they're drinking. Now I do like to have a tent up here. I don't know why I don't have one there. Usually I do up in this spot, and I'll approach from the north, but we don't have a tent up there currently. So I'm just gonna head there. We'll head up north from this outpost, and we can already see them. We can already see them drinking. Tiny little bull up there. There's going to be black bear up there. There's going to be mule deer up there. When bighorn sheep are drinking, they drink there as well. And another really good spot for turkeys all around this lake. Lots of turkey action. I always look to the left. I'm always looking through the trees when I'm running through here. See all kinds of activity, all kinds of wildlife. And there's some turkey mating calls right there. So there's some turkeys somewhere in there. Don't know if we're gonna be able to see them. Probably a good idea to swing over to the left. The problem here with approaching from that outpost is that you're going uphill. Heading towards that lake, you're going uphill, so it's hard to spot everything before spooking them. Anytime you approach a lake, it's best to be coming downhill towards the lake. You want elevation for obvious reasons, so that you can see everything down below before you get to it, before you get too close that you start spooking things. Now, I do believe in this herd that we've just got that one male, and then across the lake, we've got more. That's a nice looking four right there. Now they're traveling. Their drink time has ended already. I might try to see if I can get a running shot on this guy. Now, I did manage to get a vital there, but 0 for 150. That guy was probably about 250 out. So we'll go pick him up. That's the biggest guy we've seen so far today. But as you can see, tons of elk here. We'll watch everything kind of flush out. Black bears, usually female black bears at this lake. Oh, and they're still drinking down there. Oh my gosh, there's just tons of elk here. This is just such a good spot. Looks like we had mule deer here too. There's a nice four. Another nice four. Mule deer hanging out here. Lots of activity at this time in the evening at this lake. So let's go pick up our elk, and he did not go far. So that second shot was pretty clutch. First shot was atrocious, but we made up for it. And that is a decent Rocky Mountain Elk, 377.1. So I should also mention for Diamond Rocky Mountain Elk, 41.4 is Diamond, and it's pretty much exactly 100 less for Roosevelt Elk. You're looking at 380 for Roosevelt, 480 for Rocky Mountain Elk, 481.4 to be precise. We got double lung on that shot. And I think that's going to wrap this one up, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. Smoke that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. I got more guides coming. I got a whole bunch of different content coming for you guys. Lots of streams. I stream every single day. I'm also streaming on Twitch. Go drop a follow on Twitch if you haven't already done that. I don't only do Call of the Wild, but I do mostly Call of the Wild, but we are doing other games as well. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. Feel free to join the Discord. I'm going to leave the link down below in the description for that. Check out the Call of the Wild guides playlist if you're interested in more guides, and I will see you guys in the next one.